because I think Bianca is great, but I want to keep seeing her in tag team action with Jade because that is like completely new territory for both of them, but especially for Bianca. So
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to see Bianca and Jade have like a pretty lengthy run as a tag team. Notice I left out a word there. I just want to see them as a tag team and a unit for a time being, because what you said, like, I don't remember Bianca Belair being in a nice tag team stable with anyone really.
No.
And Jade Cargill is never done tag team really at all, except for, build up matches and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I want, and if there's anyone who has done well with developing tag teams in the past, like I think they can do it.
Yeah,
WWE.
and they need to. I mean, I think that I would like to believe that having them as the women's tag team champions means that they're going to put more effort into building up the women's tag division and actually giving them time and putting together good matches. And I say that almost every single time they make a new tag team women's champion. But I mean, because of the magnitude of the star power that Jade and Bianca have, I feel like they're probably the two biggest the most influential women that have been the tag team champions in WWE, that I feel like, okay, well, you need to kind of take advantage of how many eyes are watching, because it's not just like people love Bianca. People are really into watching Jade and what is she going to do and how's she doing in the ring and how are they trying to use her, blah, 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 blah. So I feel like they need to take advantage of that moment and legitimize the division more. So whenever they do eventually lose them, we're not going to be back at square one again with whoever takes the titles from them, because that seems to happen like every single time. They have this really hot moment. They, a new team is crowned champion, and then their run is kind of anticlimactic, and
Yeah.
it gets exciting for when they lose, and then it's just a repeated cycle. So I would like there to be for it to be a lot better than what we've seen historically.
We need change. We absolutely need change within the women's tag division. I mean, someone needs to legitimize themselves as the best women's tag team
Well,
to give the title, because there's no lineage really with it.
Well, and because, like I said, I think the biggest issue that they constantly run into is they don't want to ever have a women's tag team stay together. They always just want the women to be pushed as individual stars. And I think that's the problem, is that they just have this obsession with every single woman here needs to be a single star. They can't be like locked down in a tag team. The only ones that I can see that stayed that way were the Iconics for the most part, until they made the horrible decision to split them. And then we have Kaden and Katana. Other than that, it's like any other like women's tag team.
Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah, well, that was still new though, because they had their own careers, is what I just mean, like,
yeah, okay.
Why are they not developing women's tag teams in NXT and keeping them that way? Like, I get the argument of there's always going to be a bigger star and maybe there's a Janetti, but like that also, if we're going to believe that narrative, then we need to say, okay, well then don't they work really well together as a tag team? Like, isn't that
Exactly.
don't they need each other? So then it's like, instead of pushing this person to be a huge star and like eventually releasing this other person, why don't you take advantage of them being together and how good they are as a pairing and go with that? There's plenty of women that they have in WWE, in NXT, or people who haven't even debuted in NXT that can be at the top and could maybe eventually replace Becky and Charlotte and Rhea and whoever. But there's no tag teams. And that is a huge gaping hole, I think, in WWE's roster.